Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I have several updates on a poster's life regarding this story. Which, great googly moogly, was an absolute doozy. To sum it up, OP's narcissist mother tried to frame OP so that she could take OP's son, but mother and her children, aka OP's siblings, who she used as pawns in the scheme, all ended up getting charged and arrested. But that's just a small portion of it, so if you haven't heard that story yet, I will link it now as well as in the description below. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Mill's friend causes problems and updates. I've written a few stories before about my psychotic mother and how, actually, wonderful my Mill is. My ex-husband Bill and I have been dealing with quite a lot of stress lately. We took a trip to another state to look at houses due to what happened with my mother and siblings and talked with a real estate agent. We finally landed on a place and we're in the initial stages of purchasing it. Over the last week, Bill and I have talked at length about our relationship. With all of the therapy we've both been getting and lots of encouragement from my in-laws, we decided to get remarried and start over. We decided on another small ceremony, but this time I let my Mill plan it out. So this time, it'll be in a church. Luckily, their pastor friend agreed to officiate on short notice. I'm not religious, and my in-laws are okay with that, but their only request was for me and Bill to get married in a church. I agreed, as it's not that big of a deal to me, but it means so much to them, so I'm happy to make them happy. You would think that this is where the happy ending part comes, right? Wrong. My Mill's now former friend Karen, that's actually her name, and she behaves, looks, and thinks just like a typical Karen would, is throwing a fit over the pettiest of reasons. Karen's daughter, Barbara, not real name, is supposed to be getting married that same week, and in the same church, and she can't possibly deal with two weddings happening on two different fucking days of the week, and demanded that Bill and I change the date to 2 months later. By that point, me, Bill, and my son will be in another state, in our new house, so this is impossible. Karen is also going apeshit over the color scheme. I love red and purple and wanted those colors. Barbara loves red. I talked to Barbara about it and she couldn't give a fiddler stringing frick that I'd like the same color as her, and has told me that her mother is a drama queen and tries living vicariously through her. Barbara and her own fiance were no contact with Karen for many years, but decided to give her a second chance because they were getting married and wanted her involved. Through all of this wedding drama, Barbara and I discovered that we both like a lot of the same things, so we actually became good friends. Barbara was mostly raised by her grandparents, so she's not an entitled shit slinger like her mother Karen. Thank God. We became fast friends and are having fun comparing things together about our up-and-coming weddings. Even joked about a double wedding to which Karen threw a colossal fit over. The last few days have been really stressful, and my Mill came to our house crying, saying that she and Karen were no longer on good terms. When I asked why, she told me that while the two of them were discussing some details about the weddings, Karen lost her shit over the flowers. I wanted red roses and whatever purple flowers. Karen had only paid for half the amount of red roses needed for Barbara's wedding, and when she learned I was getting red roses, she demanded Mill give the roses to her and I could just go with something else. Mill, of course, told Karen no. Well, Karen lost her fucking mind and accused Mill of trying to destroy Barbara's big day. Father-in-law tried talking Karen down, but Karen began screaming at him, so Phil and Mill just left. After reading so many posts on here about password protecting my wedding services, I'm glad I had the foresight to do the same. Karen had tried calling the floral company, bakery, and even the church to cancel my wedding twice this week. Because Karen's mouth works before her brain does, she complained to others about not being able to sabotage my wedding. Barbara, of course, found out and finally had enough with Karen's bullcrap and cut Karen out of any and all planning. Of course, this sent Karen into a full-blown tirade, and she canceled every service she paid for, leaving Barbara and her fiancé Dave with nothing for the wedding. After talking with Bill and my in-laws, we invited Barbara and Dave to do that double wedding we had joked about, and the two are ecstatic and accepted. Karen must have expected Barbara to come crawling back with apologies and ass kissing, because she became certifiably insane and threw the world's largest tantrum when she heard about our new plans. We have agreed to rent our house to Barbara and Dave after we move, so they have a nice place to live, and for now, we are letting them stay in our guest room while we pack. Karen tried breaking in, and because of previous experiences I've dealt with, I have a great security system, complete with cameras and a Ring doorbell. Karen has since been ordered to stay away, and is only allowed at the wedding as a guest, and not part of the wedding party. She blames me and Mill for all of this, and I told Karen that if she had just relaxed and stopped being a crazy bitch, that she would get to be a part of all the fun things with Mill, Barbara, and I. But her behavior has gotten to the point where no one wants anything to do with her. Mill and I are becoming so close, she wants me to call her Mom. Bill and Dave have become friends, and the four of us are making plans for them to come visit us in the fall after we move. Edit. So me, Barbara, Dave, and Bill are sitting on the couch eating takeout and watching TV when we heard loud banging on the door. I checked my Ring doorbell camera on my phone, and guess who's out there? Karen! She's screaming into my doorbell, demanding that Barbara come outside. I just told her that if she doesn't leave, I'm calling the police. Cue the tears and wailing. Karen demanded to know why I was being so mean to her, and began pacing back and forth on my porch. By that point, the four of us were watching my phone. The more she paced, the more amped up she was getting. We could hear her talking to herself and getting angrier, until she stopped and grabbed fistfuls of her own hair and began screaming at my front door. She kicked at it and screamed for Barbara to get outside or she would kill her. So I called the police. Police came and arrested her for trespassing and attempting breaking and entering. Barbara and Dave are now going full no contact again and have uninvited Karen to the wedding. Barbara was in the kitchen when her phone started blowing up from an unknown number. It was Karen. According to the voicemail, she got bailed out and was pissed about getting arrested and is planning on suing us and the cops who came here last night. We all had a laugh about it. Barbara blocked the phone number and we all went back to what we were doing. We aren't worried. Karen would be laughed out of court. At my wit's end. Update. The double wedding is less than a week. My best friend Barbara and I have been frantically trying to finish everything before Tuesday, as our wedding is on Thursday. Both our fiancés have been trying to nail down everything else. My mother's brothers are now contacting me, demanding I drop the charges against my narcissistic mother so she can move on with her life. She's suffered enough because of me, and I should be grateful to her. She has lied to them about everything, and told them that I stole money from her, beat her up, and denied her the chance to spend time with my son. They also want to see my son. I told them that the case file is public, and they can easily find the truth, but I wasn't going to cater to their bullshit. I do not trust my uncles. They have both been convicted for sexual assault, and I told them that they are only making things worse for Mother, and I would be talking with the police if they continue to contact me about her. Barbara's mother, Karen, has continued to be a pain in our asses. She has called and harassed our wedding services so much that 2 of them canceled with us, just to avoid the constant harassment. I am now having to buy pre-made bakery cakes because no bakery can make 2 small wedding cakes on such short notice. I swear moving now is just throwing a wrench into wanting to sue Karen, the baker, and the photographer. But we're all so ready to be away from here and move on with our lives. Thankfully, a friend of mine has a professional style Nikon camera she uses for nature photography and agreed to be our photographer. Karen continues to show up to our house at all hours of the day and night to pound on our door, but she always leaves before the cops get there. She's also turned several people in our town against us, and our cars have been vandalized several times. while we are not at home because she knows my house has cameras. We come out of the store to find our tires slashed, our cars keyed, or nasty notes written on our windows. My windshield has been busted, and Barbara's side mirrors broken off. Someone had keyed whore into my driver's side door. The police can't do anything because Karen cannot be directly tied to it all, but we know it's her. It happens too often for it to just be some random punk kids playing around. I am so ready for this wedding to be done and over with. I'm ready to move. I'm eager to move into my new house, away from all this nonsense. Update on everything. Today was the wedding, and we are all exhausted, but excited to finally have it be done and over with. I just wanted to give everyone an update on today's events and our lives. As Barbara and I were getting ready, Karen showed up and begged us to let her come. She wouldn't apologize for anything she's done or said to us, but Barbara let her stay as long as she stayed quiet and didn't cause a scene. She agreed. I was apprehensive about it, but I vowed not to raise a stink over it. She and Barbara had a talk at the reception, and that is between them. Karen congratulated us all and left before the dinner service. Not what I wanted today, but it could have been worse. Thankfully, my own relatives didn't show up. They weren't invited anyways, but my aunt sent a card with some cash inside from herself and my cousin. The reception went well. We all ate dinner, danced, and took plenty of pictures. We're just getting home now and ready to sleep. Tomorrow, we are gonna finish packing as we are moving to our new home on Monday. This OP, she gives unworthy people too many second chances. It was her siblings getting the second chance in the last story, and now it's Karen in this one. I know it was technically Barbara that let Karen back in, but I would have strongly suggested to my friend to not let her psycho mom come to the wedding. And I honestly would have gotten a restraining order against Karen after her damaging my property and literally threatening to kill me. But I digress. But I do hope OP and her husband actually stay away from all this nonsense this time, truly have a fresh start in a new state, and stop accepting dumb people into their lives. As harsh as I am though, I really do want the best for OP and her husband's future, and I'm glad to see that they were able to work out their relationship because, as you know, I was rooting for them. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed those Just No Mill updates. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!